ported across state lines, and children are going to that school. And the next thing that I did with Connecticut Freedom of Information Act to make sure that I'm not wrong is I requested all emails between the principal, the assistant principal, and the school superintendent, the assistant superintendent, finance department, human resources, facility. You know what that shows? That there's somebody actually working in that school for 17 months. Now think about it. When I was a principal, Keith, you could be a parent. You can walk in my office and demand my emails, and guess what I have to do? I have to let you have them. Those are public records.
Keith, do you have any response to that?
Yeah, well, once again, you know, we keep hearing about all of these requests that he's made. He hasn't publicized anything, and this just seems just awfully weird because he is so quick to post anything that he gets, whether it's a certificate or a photograph of him as a highway patrolman back in 1974. I'm just asking, and I think that your donors, people who have given you what, I don't know how much you've raised. I know that you yourself acknowledged more than $30,000. I think it would be fair for them if you would post some of these Freedom of Information Act requests, maybe put those online somewhere instead of just putting up your claims, you know, that this script part 1, script part 2, and then all we find out is that the script is actually the final report. I mean, really, show us exactly the kinds of requests that you've made, and then we can follow up on those a lot easier. We can see the way you made the request and see if there is some basis to your allegation that this information is public and should have been given to you.
Now,
okay?
Keith,
Can you do that for us?
Keith, let me tell you, since you're calling all these people to verify my background, all you have to do is call the Freedom of Information Commission in Hartford, Connecticut, ask to speak to the ombudsman, and he will provide you copies of all of my requests through Paul Spinella, the Hartford attorney. So we shouldn't have to debate this. You can call the Freedom of Information Commission. They have copies of every request as we're speaking on this show. Alex Jones.
Well, guys, let me tell you this. It's been about 45 minutes we've been going at it, and I'm still not convinced one way or the other about what has happened. And you know, it just goes to the, I guess it just shows to the immensity of all the details and minutia that we can dig up. And I mean, I think as researchers and journalists on both sides of this story that I think we need to, you know, be a little more civil to each other and try to work to find answers instead of trying to do background checks on everybody looking for information, because that's where it gets into an attack the messenger type mode. And that's what they did to Gary Webb when he released his Dark Alliance reports. They started attacking his character, saying, who are you to be sitting in here listening to federal cases talking about CIA informants running drugs? I know that's a side issue, but it gets to, you know, when it's a continual attack of the messenger, I start seeing visions of Gary Webb. Keith, do you agree or disagree with that statement? Or?
I absolutely agree. But when you have people fabricating evidence, I mean, I have done just look this up: Sandy Hook's Flex Fit hat hoax. Okay, the hoaxers are out there saying that that Flex Fit hat that was worn by Adam Lanza wasn't made until a year after the event, and I proved that the person actually lied. They fabricated the email, and I did a recorded interview with the vice president of Flex Fit, who said that the person is making false allegations, okay? And those articles are still up there all over the place, alleging these things. So, you know, and this is the thing. If we're going to call ourselves truthers, we need to stand by the truth. And we should be supporting lawsuits that are being filed against libel and defamation. If there's any truth to those, we should stand by that and let those things go to court and let them battle it out so we can find the truth. That's what I'm looking for, the truth. Okay? You can't just discount the testimony, the statements, the reports that were written by sworn police officers, unless you have evidence that would suggest that they are lying. You need to impeach their testimony. You need to impeach their character. And no one has done that. They have not brought one whistleblower, not one counter witness, not one shred of evidence. And that's what is required. You can have all the theories that you want, but listen, we're talking about individual people, parents. We're talking about small-town cops and reporters. You guys are going after them, not the government. Look at all of these videos. It's all going after the parents and looking for children that sang at the Super Bowl. This is absolutely it's beyond the pale, okay? You cannot smear these people who just lost their children to a massacre 2 years ago and say that they're characters in some kind of conspiracy theory unless you have solid proof.
I agree with that statement, and I think people are still looking for answers and reasons. Wolfgang Halbig is one of them. Wolfgang, I'm going to give you the final word on this, and I think that was Keith. Thank you for joining us, definitely, by the way. And go ahead, Wolfgang.
Well, Rob, I really appreciate allowing you and Keith and I to come. I think Keith has a passion. If you hear it in his voice,
definitely.
I think he really cares. I'm going to tell you what, I think it's a great debate. I think it's healthy that Keith is out there. I just wish he wouldn't call me a fraud. I wish he'd come to Florida, come visit me, have lunch together, and see me for who I am. I'm old. Hey, I don't even want to be doing this. I'm retired. I mean, had those two police officers, and Keith says, well, they never came to his house. Trust me, they did. Had they never come, Keith and I would have never met. Rob, you and I would have never met. And I am not a conspiracy theorist. I do this for a living. You know, and what really got my attention is that 3 days after the shooting, Rob, I actually made a donation to United Way Western Connecticut. And what's really ironic, when I flew up to Danbury to inspect their 990s, their nonprofit records, they had 8 police officers stopping me from going in to look at their 990s and simply ask questions. And I was trespassed. Now, is that the America that we live in? I taught American government to high school seniors, and I teach them to ask questions. Rob, I pray to God that I'm wrong. And I tell you what, if I am wrong, and Keith, I want you to hear this loud and clear. If I am wrong, I will apologize to anyone and everyone, and I'll run to the nearest mental health facility, and I can promise you this, I will voluntarily admit myself, because I cannot put people through the pain and suffering as you're describing. Let me tell you, I'm old. I'm a public servant. I don't make a lot of money, but I'm retired. I've served my military. I've done all the right things. I've met good people. All I care about is the truth. And I don't understand why they can't answer those questions, which are by law, they're not exempt. And I haven't offended any parents. I'm not questioning any parents. I simply want to know the truth.
Well, there you go. Man, I tell you, we got the 2-year anniversary approaching on Sunday. This is Friday, and I think we've really turned a lot of ground. And this is the kind of discourse that needs to happen, I think, in order for on both sides of the issue. I'm so glad you guys both decided to participate in this. You know, I could hear the passion in both your voices. I both think you're very sincere. I don't think either one of you are frauds. You know, I definitely want to see a resolution to this as well, because, you know, these school shootings, there's going to be more of them. More are going to happen, and it's sad that, you know, and I think it's a testament to how much we medicate our children instead of actually helping our children. And that's a whole nother discussion for another day. But Wolfgang Halbig, Keith Johnson, thank you for joining us. And next time we have some big developments, I hope we can get the two of you together again on Skype and continue this discourse.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Keith.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, that was interesting. I don't know if we found a solution or if we learned anything more about Sandy Hook. At least I didn't. I don't know. We as Americans need to come together and look for the reasons why we're getting into these tiffs and why some people believe some people and some people don't. And who's the authority on this and who's the authority on that? We're all humans here on this earth, and we've all got to get through this together. We're all going to end up dead someday. So we might as well try to make our societies and our communities as best they can be so the next generation can build off that. That's got to be the way we're going. And, you know, do debates like this help? Put your comments down below. Let me know if this was even helpful, because, you know, after listening for 45 minutes of those two guys, you know, go at it, I don't know if we really made any headway on Sandy Hook and with the 2-year anniversary approaching. But regardless, if you are watching this on YouTube, please consider becoming a member of PrisonPlanet.tv. It's our members are the reason why we're able to do these long interviews, do our live shows that we've put out there. It helps everything we do. And right now we're running a big special, $29.95 for the year. And that's our best deal we've ever put together. And also you can share your username and password and have up to 20 people using that username and password on at the same time. We've never had that before. It used to be 11, it used to be 5, and now we're up to 20. And it's all because the more members we get, it allows us to open up the bandwidth a little wider and spread the information out, because that's what we're interested in. We're interested in the information war that is going on. It is the war going on for your mind. And that is all we have at this point. We've got information. We can put it out there. Being a member helps us do that a lot more efficiently and have a lot more eyeballs out there looking at information. Allows us to send reporters to Sandy Hook, which we've done. We sent Dan Badandi there. It allows us to send the guys to Ferguson, the Bundy Ranch, the border. We've made many trips down to the border, several reporters, cameramen, and all that costs money. And it's you out there, the members of PrisonPlanet.tv, that are making that possible. It's also the people that visit InfoWarsShop.com and purchase the products we have, and also InfoWarsLife.com. So we do appreciate those of you out here who are supporting us. And with that, that's our show for this evening. My name is Rob Dew. Thanks for joining us on the InfoWars Nightly News. We'll see you back here next week, 7 p.m. Central. Good night.
In the past decade, we have witnessed unparalleled scientific discoveries in the area of health. But no one has put together a formula that focuses directly on brain health, nerve growth factors, and optimizing your cellular energy at the same time. DNA Force is one of the most expensive formulas to produce. Some of the ingredients in DNA Force are $12,000 a kilogram. We are using the coveted, patented, only American source of PQQ, CoQ10, and more. You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? Well, we're bringing you a total win-win. The ultimate value, cutting-edge, trailblazing game changer that also supports the InfoWar. We have produced a limited run of DNA Force, and it will take up to 12 weeks to produce more once we sell out. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. DNA Force from InfoWars Life.
You are watching the InfoWars Nightly News, which airs 7 p.m. Central at InfoWarsNews.com. Members can share their passcodes with up to 11 other people, and your support is helping us defend liberty worldwide.